Okay, my friends, it's part 2 of making our cranky. So much work. Remember, you are going to probably need a helper for this last part. But this part you can do on your own. You should have your pictures drawn. If you don't, make sure you have your cover picture, a beginning of your story, a middle of your story, and the end of your story. Maybe you might even use more than 4 papers like I have. I just put the color papers there to make it easy for you to see them. You don't need those color papers, but put as many papers as you need for your story. Make sure I put my window, the cardboard I cut out for the window in my box, on top of my paper so I know what size to make the title of my story. Okay, so I traced that cardboard to help me see what size to make the title so that the title can be seen in the window all at once. And then I start writing very nice big letters with my marker. See if you can read what I'm writing, what the title of my cranky will be. And once you are finished, you can start illustrating your story. What kind of pictures will you use to decorate your story and draw your story? Okay, so now we're going to go to the next slide and start our illustrations. Now remember, in your illustrations, you want to think about what you learned in science. You're opaque and translucent, and transparent. What part of your cranky will be opaque? Maybe you will use a shadow puppet, or maybe you'll use black crayon like I'm using here. That's very opaque and dark. And what part will be translucent? That maybe you'll color with light colors. And then the same thing with your ending. If you want to write something that says the end, make sure it fits inside the window, and so that your audience can see it when you're all finished your story. Okay, so once you're finished drawing all of your pictures, and you can see here, I did add one more because I didn't have enough for my whole song of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I added one more. I added number 4 paper. And I have colored all my papers in. And then the next step is, you guessed it, you're going to turn all your papers over, make sure they're in the right order, and tape them all together. So you can ask for help if you need help taping them, but you should have them all together. And they're upside down. You can see they're all there for your cranky. Okay, so it's ready to go. Now let's see how to put our paper inside our cranky. We're going to put it behind, start at the left side of our box, and it goes behind all the sticks. Now you can see my paper, even though I measured it, it's still a little too big. It's hard to get it to stick in there and roll around. And if your paper is like Ms. Cruz, it's too big, then I would take it out and just do this so that it will fit and it won't be so hard. So I'm just going to cut my paper a little bit off at the bottom, wherever you have space, so that it can fit in my cranky and I won't have a hard time rolling it through all the sticks and putting it in there. So if you need to cut your cranky, that's okay. Fix your paper and make sure it's the right size so you don't have a hard time when it's time for you to crank your cranky, turn the paper on the sticks. Okay, so I've cut all the way down my whole long cranky paper, and now I'm going to go to the next part. I'm going to see how to stick it in the box. So you can see, you start on the left side, you slide it behind the first stick and then behind the second stick. Something I do if I can't get it to go in is I'll pull the stick out, put the paper down, and then put the stick back into its hole so that it fits. And then you're going to tape it here on the last stick. So put it behind both sticks so you can see it through the window. And then you'll put some tape here right at the very edge of your paper. And once you do that, then you're ready to start rolling or cranking. You're going to crank that and keep turning it on that last stick on the right. Either it's going to be the one in the front, or if you use 2 sticks on both sides, then you'll do it on the back stick. And just keep turning it and turning it until you get almost to the edge of the paper. Don't pull it all the way until the edge of the paper is close to the edge of the last stick. Oh, the first stick, I should say. The first stick on the left. Okay, we're almost there, guys. We're almost to the end. You know what happens next. I'm sure you can guess. You're going to put some tape here. But now your story is at the end. So now you've got to roll it all the way back so you can be back at the beginning. So you're going to take this end, make sure it's taped really good, and then roll it, everything all the way back, back. So you can be ready to tell your story. Go back to the beginning of your cranky. Okay? You can use 2 fingers, 2 hands, and roll both sticks at the same time. And the final thing to do is just to add your light in the back. You got your cranky in the front and your opaque and translucent parts, and you're ready to tell your story and perform your cranky or sing your song. So have fun.